Aiki, Dennis Wei, Phil Albers Jr. Pananikiawi Chwa Kaduk Tribal TANF program. So this video is a breakdown of the beginning conversation work terms, and I go through some of the components and parts of speech with the tenses and prefixes, so enjoy. Aiki, na Phil, Pananikiawi Chwa Kaduk Tribal TANF program. Today I'm going to go over, it's a little bit windy, so I'm not sure how this will work out, but I'm going to go over some of the beginning conversation for work, if you remember that worksheet. And yeah, so I'm going to break it down, try to break down some of the parts of speech, and we'll just work right through it. Alright, so this first one, pi, that's meaning this. Kuma is kind of like saying it's, or even kind of. Mahit, morning. Im, that is you, singular. Would, just. Now, ikyawichwa is the root word, verb for work. But in this instance, that short I in the front is meaning you, singular, is a prefix for a verb. Then we have ikyawichwa, which means work. Then we have esh at the end, which is a future tense. Then of course, whom is a yes or no question. Okay? So what we got here, we isolate this short A, acute accent. Isolate this short A, acute accent. Isolate the short U, acute accent. And we isolate, oh, don't forget the glottal stop. And we isolate the circumflex long I. Pai kumama it imwood ikyawichweshum. Pai kumama it imwood ikyawichweshum. Now to break this word down a little bit further, ikyawichwa. That's the root word for work. In this case, the question is specifically referring to one person in a singular. So we have that as the you singular prefix for a verb. Then we're talking about in the future, not as if it's happening now or already has happened. So then that's when we're going hesh, which is the future tense. Okay? Remember, if it's a short, unaccented vowel at the beginning of a word, when you add a prefix, you can drop that off. So then we end up with ikyawich. Now, same principle, a short, unaccented vowel at the end, when you're adding a suffix, can be dropped off. So we'll have the V. Then we don't need those two consonants right next to each other with this H, so we can drop that off because the V can be there. And the accent will move because you're adding to the end of it. Ikiawitwish. It is also, I've heard, also said Ikiawitwish. Oh. Ikiawitwish. So that could also work for that one. So that's how that first part breaks down. Okay, so ha pai kumamahit now what in ikiawitwish. Ha. That's the affirmative for yes. Pi. This is relatively the same. Just a couple little differences. It's morning. Now this is I. Now if you notice one little difference, this is woulda. We kept that short unaccented A because the next word begins with a consonant. Then we have ni, which is the prefix, the verb prefix for I. Then we have Gyawitra, which is work, and then the Heish, which is future. And there's no question, so you don't need to have the question marker. Ha, Baikumamahid, now with a Nikyawitresh. Isolate the long A with the nasalization. Isolate the short A with an acute accent. Short A with an acute accent. Glottal stop. Na, woulda. Isolate the acute accent short U, and then isolate the circumflex accent long I. Ha, Baikumamahid. Now with a Nikyawitresh. Yeah, even I forgot that already. I had to put that glottal stop in there. So, Baikumamahid now with a Nikyawitresh. Okay, that one's pretty simple. Bayem Tanikyawitwiti. Okay, so of course you already know this is the affirmative. Yes, this actually is saying now. Now this is that perfective I've mentioned a few times. That's kind of signifying now, basically. Then we have the ni, which is the prefix for the verb, and it means I. We have ikyawitwa, which is work. Then we have wuti, which is the present tense, which is also kind of like an ing. Payem tanikyawitwiti. Long A, the nasalization. Long E with the circumflex accent. Long I with the circumflex accent. Payem tanikyawitwiti. Okay, and so now we have puhara. Baikumamahid now with the punikyawitweshara. Alright, so puhara, that's basically no. It's the negative, not. Then we have pi, which you remember is this. It's morning. I just. Okay, now here we have pu and hara. Recognize anything there? That's basically puhara, which is a negative, no, or not. Then we have the I. Then we have the work. Then we have future tense. Alright? So, puhara. Baikumamahid nawada punikyawitweshara. No. I do not have to work this morning. How many times we wish we could say that? So isolate the long U, short A, glottal stop, short U, and long I. Puhara, pai, humama, I nawada, punikyawitweshara. Puhara. We have a typically nice response. Karuimhum. Karuimhum. So this comes down to and you, singular, yes or no. Karuimhum. And you? Basically saying, yeah, and do you have to work? Because in context, directly responding to what was being spoken of. And in this case, we were talking about work. So isolate that short A, long I. Karuimhum. And you? So the next one here, we have Paik musupa fat with the kupesh. Alright? So this, it's day, what, just, Remember, in this case, that's a you in a singular form. Kupa is do. What's the hesh? Future tense. Now, we don't have to have whom. It's not a yes or no question. The fat identifies this as a question. Pai kumasupa fat wadikupesh. Short A, short U, long A, short U, long U. Pai kumasupa fat wood kupesh. And then we have one of the responses. Pai kumasupa purfat wood nikupesh. Pai, this, kuma, it's, supa, de, purfat. Nothing. Not a reference to zero, as in quantification or a number, but nothing. Wara, just, ni, I, kupa, do, ish, future. Pai kumasupa purfat wadnikupesh. So I'm not going to do anything today. And I know we'd love to say that as well. Isolate the short A, short U, long A, short U, long U. Pai kumasupa purfat wadnikupesh. Pai kumasupa purfat wadnikupesh. Pai kumasupa wadatai nikupesh. Alright? This, it's, they, just. This one is lots, and it is referring to a quantification, not a specific number, but meaning many. Ni, I, do, ish, future. Pai kumasupa wadatai nikupesh. So let that isolate that. Short A, short U, long A, long U. Pai kumasupa wadatai nikupesh. Pai kumasupa wadatai nikupesh. I'm going to be doing a lot today. Well, I hope all that was helpful and useful, and clearly there's a lot going on in the background with the birds and my kids playing around, and do the language whenever you can, and tihan ko kumasupa para ahit no chupiti yo tua.